Alright, so today we're revisiting a project. So this is my XD tactical 5-inch. I had it set up as a race gun kind of thing. I had a big sight on top with a burst fast fire, and while my son was using the gun, the barrel exploded. So luckily it contained itself inside the stock, and you can see right inside there the barrel is split, moves a little bit, but it will not come out of the slide. I should say the slide contained it. Anyway, it won't come out of the slide, so this is pretty much garbage. Unfortunately, the slide I'm going to condemn also, because I can't get the barrel out, and I don't really want to chance that the slide wasn't tweaked in some way. So using some percussive maintenance, we got it apart, and that's the old. So this is the new slide, and I put the assist lever on it just to make sure it fits. This is the new slide. This is from an XD Tactical Mod 2. So I spent the last couple of weeks investigating what Mod 2 means. So apparently, at some point, XD, to keep the 5-inch barrel, they beefed up the end of the slide. So see how long that spring is, uncompressed, okay? And that's got a full-length guide rod, obviously, on it. Well, the guide rod on the new one and the spring is shorter because they beefed up the slide and they made the spring shoulder here instead of all the way up in the nose. So that's one thing they did. So obviously we can't reuse the slide and the spring. The other thing that they did involves the barrel. So the barrel, it's still, barrel comes right out. It's nice. Looks just like a stock XD tactical barrel. The problem is the width of the locking lug. So if you look at these two barrels, the width of the locking lugs here are different, and they're different by enough room that it will not fit the lock. So let's get our caliper in here, and if you look, so the width of the old lock is 0.340, 0.339. The width of the new lock is 0.379. So we've got about 30 thousandths of an inch difference, and that prevents the barrel from going into the lock. So I go online and I'm looking up parts, and I contacted xdparts.com and asked them to pull a new lock off and see if it's what the width is. Is it for a Mod 2? Is it not for a Mod 2? And the guy puts me on hold for about a good 6 or 8 minutes, comes back and says, oh yes, that one will fit a Mod 2. Great, let me have it. So I ordered this. I ordered the new takedown lever because I had trimmed I had to trim the old takedown lever to get it apart. So I got a new takedown lever, and I get it, and sure enough, it doesn't fit. Fits the old one just fine, okay, but the new one, it doesn't fit. Alright, try the old one. Old one goes all the way in. New one Nah, doesn't fit. So, now what I have to do is I have to thin this lock up 30 thousandths of an inch. So I got to take about 15 thousandths off each side of this lock. Everything else in this lock works, okay? So the lock itself slides, the ramp slides up in the top. It looks like it's going to match, okay, once it locks in there. I don't want to start taking material off the lock, because the lock, if you look on the inside of the lock, this isn't just a thin surface. This goes all the way down into here, okay? And I don't want to have to go, I don't have a mill that I can put this on. I mean, if I did, I would, but I don't have a mill to put this on and take all that material out. So I'd rather just take the material off the barrel. As for reducing the usability of this barrel, I don't think it's going to make a bit of difference. I don't think that 30 thousandths of an inch is going to make a bit of difference. Everything else on the barrel is the same. The only thing is this has got a relief, like a contour right there. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some sandpaper and a block, and I'm just going to start sanding that off. And we'll take 15 thousandths off each side, and that should be the end of that. I'm not going to touch this feed ramp. I'm not going to touch anything else on it, just this locking lug. Alright, so I polished both sides down exactly 11 thousandths on each side. I angled the front of it in, and what we're looking for is good lockup. Okay, so that's the way that works. So as the slide retracts, you see the barrel drops. I'm putting a little tension on it with my hand, and back in position. That's exactly the way we got to work. And the slop is in the barrel. You see in the slide, not in the barrel. Take the barrel out, slide that in there. There's very little side to side. Alright, we got good lockup. We got a good retention on that lug. That ain't going anywhere. So let's put that back in. Let's put the recoil spring back in. Okay. Alright. This gun needs a good cleaning. I'm finding debris and stuff in it. Anyway, I took the trigger back out. Regardless, I'm going to edit that part of the video. Anyway, trigger goes in. Alright, trigger spring. I take the trigger out. Of course, the spring, everything comes completely apart. This went in from. This went in from that direction. Alright, that goes in like that. Alright, now this gets hooked under, and then trigger goes in like that. Right, that's good. Alright, so we got a magazine release that lays in there and is retained by the trigger pin. Now, this spring goes on the outside of the block like that. Alright, and then the block goes in from the back and down. And gets retained in there, and now we can put the trigger pin through. Because the trigger pin's got to go through a whole bunch of stuff. There we go. Good, good, good deal. Yep. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Now the front pin goes in. Give that little rappa-tappa-tappa. And that goes until it clicks. Might need a little persuasion. Beautiful. Alright, that's in. That's clicked. Got a good trigger. Alright. Now, our new takedown lever. That goes in and up. And moment of truth. And we got to get it around the. There we go. This was always an issue. Getting it around the. Hell did I get it around? Oh, now we have a new issue. Okay. So on the old one, that just went up and above. On the new one, let's take this out and put the original plate back in, just so I can see what's going on. Just with these plates, just watch that the trigger, the firing pin spring doesn't go flying away on you. There we go. Okay. Oops. Come on, get in there. And now my hands don't want to work. Are you kidding me? Come on, baby. There we go. All right. Okay. Now. That's interesting. So the takedown lever is just a smidge too long. That's just a smidge too long. Alright, so let's put the old takedown lever in, just to make sure we're not doing this for nothing. So come on out. There's a spring. The spring is in there. Okay. So let's put the old takedown lever in that doesn't have the tab. Okay. Let's see what she does. Right? Fits. Bring it back to lock. Lock. Lever comes down. Release. She comes forward. Good firing pin. That's a functional gun. Okay. Alright, so the Mod 2 has a different type of takedown. That's interesting. So she's there. She works. Grip safety works. Yep, grip safety works. Trigger safety works. Okay. So the gun has been resurrected. But we're going to need okay. So we're going to need to remove that tab. Because I really do want to use the new takedown lever, because this takedown lever is polished silver. So spring, and out she comes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that tab. And I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Alright. So I just took the tab off the inside of the takedown lever. I mean, the tab is there for the, you know, to retain it, but if the tab is in the bottom position, I mean, is it gonna really pop up on you while you're working the gun? I doubt that. I doubt it's gonna do that. Alright, let's see if I can do this in one shot. One, that. There we go. All right, I like that. That's for racking a gun. Okay, so let's move this just to get it started, and then pop it up. That'll allow the lug to move past this section, and that's what retains the slide. Look at that. I think she's back, baby. I think she's back. Oh. My dummy rounds are going nuts. Boo. Jersey sucks. And it really is 10 round modified. Taking a standard round magazine and making it a mini round magazine. All right. Magazine is in. Racked with one in the chamber. Dummy round. Click. Oh, click. Oh, click. Oh, click. Oh, click. And we have lockup. Resurrected from the dead. Wow. I am super excited. I am so excited. I'm not even mad that I lost a whole bunch of my snap caps down inside the spot next to the bench. There's two. I know there's a third one hiding in there. And then I don't know where the other one went. Anyway. Alright, I'll pick those up in a minute. But, so, that's that. So you know what else I got? Extended magazine release. So why don't we put that in? Well, I got you here. So we got a good functional check. And next up, we're going to put the magazine release in. Oh man, I'm excited. Alright, so let's put our new magazine release in. And we'll put the rest of the gun back together the way it was meant to be. The way I had it. So this is going to be interesting. So with this new, the modification to this Mod 2 slide, so we don't have to lock the slide back anymore. As long as the gun is racked, then you could pop this up and then pull the trigger and it comes off. Okay? So just for S and G's, let's see what happens. Okay, so let's see if we have to pull the trigger. Then we pop this up. Alright, so there you go. Then the slide just comes off, and you just give it a little yank past the stop there. So anyway, so there's our new upper slide assembly. Let's put that over there. And of course, after this is done, I'm going to do a complete disassembly on this and cleaning and lubrication. It's been almost a year now since the incident happened. It's got some lubrication in it, but it's not anything that I would prefer. Anyway, the magazine release. So the magazine release is inside there. You can see that's what catches it. It catches right in that little spot in there in the front. Okay, magazine drops right out. Okay, so we have an extended release. So what we have to do is there's the tiniest of little pins in there. So let's get our block. We're going to get the tiniest of pin punches. And we're not going to push it all the way out. We're just going to push it most of the way through. Because there is a spring that's in there. And we don't want the spring to go flying out. So let's see if I could push this past the stop yet. Because once that's far enough, you could push this past the stop and just pop it out. Okay. But I don't want the spring. I want to see if I could do it without the spring going. Ka-boing! There we go. I just felt it go past the stop. So see, it goes right out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow the new one in. And I want the long side to the right for my right hand. And that's it. And we push this back in there. Alright, and now we're going to get a little bit bigger pin. So we go to the stop. Okay. And that's just below. Let's push it through a little bit more. I like getting it even on both sides. Let's get the small pin punch back in there and just. Alright. There we go. I'm a little OCD about that. Getting it even. See what happens. Okay. Magazine's in there. It's locked. Hit it. Falls free. Beautiful. How easy was that? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Let's put this thing back together the way it should go back together. So, let's get this started. And then we can pop that up. That's nice. Lock that slide. Let it rip. Okay. Now, that's what we have that goes on it. Okay, actually it does. Had it right the first time. So that goes in there. So let's get this disassembled, and I need some small, a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. So this is a Carver competition mount, and if you look back at some, I think I have another video on this. This comes in two pieces, so that comes off. Then that's the lock plate, and then you have to take these off because this unit mounts to this slide, this Picatinny rail rather, not slide. Picatinny rail on the bottom of the gun. And all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this mounts onto the Picatinny rail, and this goes into one of the slots. Okay, so we're going to put that through there, get that in there to lock, and then these screws will go on kind of loose. We don't want to tighten anything up just yet. That was anyway. All right, and now, so we're going to take this trigger pin out because this trigger pin, this doubles as the pin that mounts this unit. So this goes on here like that, right in, and let's put the trigger pin back through. Wiggle, 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 and then the trigger pin. And the trick I found is that you don't over tighten this. You just tighten it enough that it's snug and that it's all the way through the nut. Okay, so it's not quite all the way through the nut, but you understand it's snug. Okay, if you tighten it up too much, it ends up squeezing the trigger and it doesn't cycle correctly. All right. So let's put the other screws back in to secure it to the rail. I already brought it upstairs to show it to my son, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's alive!" I know he kind of felt bad because he knows this is about my favorite gun, handgun. Next to, I mean, I like all of them, but that 1911 that I carry is just, you know, it's got a special place. But this, see, I really wanted to take the instructor course for concealed carry with this just because of the cool factor. But you can't conceal it. I have a special holster for this. Drop leg, quick release holster from Carver. Now we can tighten this up. And you don't super tighten them up because you take this apart during regular cleaning, so you snug everything up. All right, that's that. All right, and then the only thing we got to make sure is the sight, because I'm not going to remove the sights. That slide, I removed the sights on that one. I'm not going to do that to this one, but I just want to make sure that the sight doesn't hit the front. You can see where the mount is, so that sight doesn't hit that front. And I don't have to worry about the rear, but that is it. See, so it looks good with a black slide with some accents. I didn't think it would look good, but I mean, I'd still prefer the two-tone. And I probably could coat that slide or do something with it to get it to look original. But it is a Mod 2, and officially this gun is now a Mod 2. I know the other thing about the Mod 2s is they've got some stupid thing on the side here that says handguard area or something like that. Like, really, if you need that on the side of your gun, you shouldn't be shooting. Alright? Alright, there we go. So we got one dummy round in the chamber. Everything is working. That works good. Another dummy round in. Okay. Grip safety works. Trigger safety works. Alright, there was something that I was listening to that I didn't like. I heard something. Alright, let's double check. Doesn't ever hurt to double check before you go to the range after a modification like this. Okay, a lot of you could see technique. I don't like using the slide release. You can, okay, but I've had issues with the slide releases on some guns. Not this one, but I've had some issues with some other guns. So if you Hollywood it like that with the slide release, I know some people teach you to do it, but the slide release is not supposed to be a wear item, and it ends up wearing whichever material is the least, is the most soft, is the softer material. Usually it ends up being the slide. Okay, so you'll end up wearing this back shape of the slide. You'll wear it into a triangle. And once that happens, if you go into slide lock, okay, let's drop the mag. Yeah, something's hanging up. I just felt it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Drop the mag, right? Okay, you're in slide lock. All right, if you can put a magazine in and bang that gun and that slide lock returns, that slide returns, that's not good. You have to get a gunsmith to look at that. Most likely either the lock is worn or the slide is worn. If the slide's worn, he can just reshape the slide. It's not that big of a deal. But if the button itself is worn, then you got to replace it. Okay, so this could be a lubrication issue. It's not going into battery. Okay? Alright, that's in battery. You know what? Maybe I was riding it. I was riding it. Oh, maybe not. Alright. So, for the purposes of this video, and I lost another one of my snap caps. For the purposes of this video, this is done. Okay. Yeah, you see, without ammo, even if I slide it in there, yeah, so, okay, so it's no problem. It could be that the unit just needs to have some lubrication. I'm going to investigate that, and I don't see any crazy marks on my snap caps to tell me there's something wrong with the feed ramps. But anyway, I am really, really happy. This is going to be a really... Father's Day is tomorrow, and my son and I are going to the range for a Garand shoot. We're taking my dad's, his grandfather's, we're taking the Garand up there, and we're going to have a nice Father's Day shoot. But sometime during the week, I'm going to have to take this back up to the range. I normally shoot up at Cherry Ridge in I believe it's Ringwood, New Jersey. For those of you who know Jersey, you'll definitely know that range. But I am so friggin' happy right now. I am friggin' stoked, man. I am stoked that this gun is back. So anyway, have a happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And this was a nice Father's Day gift to me. I fixed it. I brought it back to life. Hoo hoo hoo.